and welcome to today's episode of The Daily Blend. I'm your host, AC, and we are joined in studio today by a woman with many titles. Erica Pefferman is the president of Como Magazine and Como Marketing and the publisher of Como Business Times Magazine.
That's me.
That's you. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. So many exciting things happening with the magazine right now.
Yeah.
I really love the double.
Oh, isn't that fun?
Yes.
We've been doing that now, I want to say, for about a year. We started it actually, it's been a year last month.
Look at that.
Time goes by so fast. Thank you. Yeah, we brought CBT back in April of 2023, and I missed her birthday. We need to do something on social.
Do a belated birthday.
We were just busy. We've been doing a lot.
There's a lot happening. There's a lot happening.
But it was a decision I made financially because it's kind of cheaper to produce the magazines and bind them together. But also it was a great opportunity to really catch people's attention with it. And have two covers. I know. Covers are my favorite.
Yeah,
so I love doing them.
It's always fun to see who's on the cover. Right. And I know you don't tell people.
No.
Right.
I try not to. Sometimes people are really challenging to get to play along with my games.
Yes.
So sometimes I'm like, look, lady, I'm trying to get you a photo of the cover. And they're like,
well, you should have told me. And then they get
up. But 90% of the time, it's a surprise to whoever ends up on the cover. And we try to, really capture that reveal and that experience for them. Lawrence Bowers, we got some footage of him finding out that he was on the cover of the last CBT, and he got really emotional, and he talked about how his children never got a chance to see him play ball. And he was being honored for something other than his basketball skills, and it was really important. So those are like moments that we get with people that are really special to me. It
is it's an amazing thing. Like, I love seeing the two covers, and I love seeing who is going to get the cover. And your covers are always, I love the photography.
Oh, thank you.
It's always really nice on the covers. And I remember the Impact Awards, which we're going to talk about here in a minute. But several years back, when I ended up on the cover with the United Way
and
for
you
that
didn't
event,
know you were
and I didn't know, and it really is. Yeah, it really is kind of an emotional thing. Like, when you see it, you're, oh my goodness, that's me. That's me. And oh, look at me tearing up right now just thinking about that memory.
That was a really special cover to me too, because not only were we able to capture like the amazing work of United Way and talk about, they just touched so many parts of our community, but we're also able to highlight, diversity within that space. And I loved the photo of, it's very dramatic photo that we took of the three of you. And it was very special. It's one of my favorite things to do is to direct what that vision looks like and to pick those photos.
I imagine. And getting Andrew not to smile was the hardest thing we had to do that day.
He's
always smiling.
I know.
We're like, no, Andrew, we want a serious kind of fierce face
right now.
He's like this.
And we're like, no,
not exactly like that.
It looks bad.
Don't do not exactly like that. Don't do that. But speaking of Impact Awards, I know you just closed out 20 Under 40, that was a whole just big thing.
Thank you. And thank you for being there. I think that really added something for our participants.
I loved it. It was so much fun. And I went back and watched it.
Yeah,
and
it was
hearing
great.
what people said, it
made me
fun.
cry at times.
I'm sure.
Because, we get so busy in producing the event and producing the editorial feature and really trying to celebrate them. And I get caught up in the logistics. So being able to go back and listen to, it really is why we do what we do, is to shine the light on good works that people are doing, connect people to the community. And I think it's my calling. So I'm very lucky to get to do it. That is why we developed the Impact Como Awards, which I know you wanted to kind of transition into. For those that don't know, but Impact Como Awards are something we developed several years ago. I wonder, this might be our 5th year. I'll have to check.
I think that sounds right.
I think it is our 5th year, where we really wanted to shine a light on the work nonprofits were doing in our community. They do so much work. They're often very unpaid. They often have little resources, and people are living out their calling by working in this space and are often unknown or unseen. And so we started the Impact Como Awards to feature 6 awards each year focused on people that are doing great work in Columbia. And by no means are we saying every year like this this is the end all. There's so many good ones. So we'll open up nominations. We will ask for nominations in most impactful executive director, philanthropic company. So that would just be a company that does a great job supporting nonprofits. A staff member, key volunteer, board member, and then most impactful event. So what we'll do is we'll take nominations, and I think those will open in the next couple of weeks. And then we will narrow, once we get all of those, we send them to our advisory board and, people that have been involved in the past that help us we get a lot.
Oh, I'm sure.
And so then we narrow it down to 3 finalists. And then we invite everybody to come to a wonderful luncheon. We have a Christian fellowship. And that's where we really get to honor not just the final recipient, but the honorable mentions too that are doing amazing work. And it's a fun thing. We dedicate many pages of our entire November issue is dedicated to nonprofit service in the community. So every story in both sides you will see has some nonprofit impact for Columbia.
That's amazing. And I mean, you're right. There are so many. And you would think, in a town like Columbia, do you run out? No. There's no shortage.
There's no shortage. There are hundreds and hundreds of nonprofits that people don't even really know about. And I mean, honestly, again, I'll draw this back to, what I believe my calling is here in Columbia, which is to connect people doing amazing things and tell their stories and lift them up. And, it's not always a commercial success for us, but it is such a soul success because we get a chance to every year in November, right before the holidays, right before time people spend thinking about volunteering, giving back. Heck, let's even talk about end of year tax credits.
Exactly.
I mean, that's important too. So we really want to raise the value of what people are doing in our community.
Well, that is exactly what you're doing.
Thanks.
And so if you are listening or watching and you have something in mind or somebody in mind in one of those categories, then you want to go to the magazine's website and you want to look for those nominations and submit.
Please, that would be great.